When Brandon Nixon, a present-day boy, can't get anyone in his family to listen to the report he's written for school. He's very proud of the A he got, but everyone is too busy preparing the Thanksgiving dinner. So he takes a nap. During his nap, he is visited by constants. A Pilgrim girl and Kaya, a rock-and-roll Indian girl. They tell her what the first Thanksgiving was really like. We hope you enjoy all of it.
Nana, Sarah, I have something to tell you.
Happy Thanksgiving, Brandon. Did you see the parade this morning?
I like to be balloons, don't you, Anna?
I like the giant turkey, but seeing Santa is always cool.
Yes, the parade was great, but I want to tell Sarah and Nina about my Thanksgiving paper.
Oh, Brandon has been working for a long time on
I reported at school about
Aunt Pia and Louie, please test up paprika. I make great deviled eggs if I do say so myself.
Sarah, tell us about your cousin. Well, Brandon,
on a report about the first Thanksgiving and the Pilgrims and the Indians. I worked really hard in it, and I made an A.
that's wonderful, Brandon. What exactly did it say?
Well,
excuse me, son, but I need a whisk. A whisk is a secret to a good pumpkin pie.
well, it was about pumpkin and turkey, of ears of corn with lots of butter and all the things they had that first Thanksgiving.
How interesting.
Here I am with my famous baked beans. I got up at
4
o'clock in the morning to start cooking these beans.
Have I ever said that before?
Every year, John.
Every year, they're delicious. You're a great cook.
So anyway, do you guys want to give me...
That sounds great. Now why, Sarah? Give me the big spoon, would you?
Okay, maybe I'll read it to you after supper. I don't see why they think I should take a nap. I'm not sleepy. It's Thanksgiving Day, and I don't feel sleepy at all.
Do you think he is asleep? He must be, or he wouldn't be here. He's a handsome boy.
Who are you?
Don't be afraid, young Brandon. My name is Kaya, and this is Constance. Constance is from Plymouth Colony. You know it now in Massachusetts.
And Kaya is an Indian from the Wham Wham.
From the Wampanoag tribe. We were great friends to the early settlers at Plymouth Colony.
Am I dreaming?
That would be my guess.
But you look so real, I can't believe my eyes.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you.
Today is happy, but none could ever be as wonderful as the very first Thanksgiving. The trip over was very hard.
On the Mayflower, I know all about it. I wrote a report.
You may not know all about it. Did you know there were many, many people in a really small space?
102 and crew.
And that we could not bathe or or change clothes for 13 weeks.
66 days in a cold, crowded, and wet space.
My mom hates it if you don't take a bath each day.
They had no fresh fruits or vegetables.
I could live without vegetables.
I thought so too until we said we had to eat meat packed in salty water. We had no other way to keep it from spoiling.
It was terrible.
I guess there weren't refrigerators on the Mayflower, huh?
Constance told me they had to eat hard biscuits, and they would dip them in their soup to make them hard enough to soft enough to chew.
Wow. Yes, they were often filled with needleworms. Yuck.
It was very hard, but we wanted to come to America. We wanted to be able to practice whatever religions we choose.
That's still important today.
Thanks to the Pilgrims who started it all. Kai is a good friend, but the best friend we had is an Indian named Squanto.
That was his nickname. His real name was too long for the white man to pronounce. They were used to short names like John and Miles.
So we called him Squanto. He spoke English.
Because he studied in school.
No, he met some English fishermen and learned from them. He taught us how to fish, how to dry out food so it could be eaten later, and how to grow squash and corn.
Squanto was a great man. He helped out a treaty between the settlers and colonists in Massachusetts, the great chief of our tribe.
Brandon, do you know what treaty is, Brandon? Do you know what treaty is, Brandon?
It's an agreement to live in peace.
That's right.
Look, there they are now.
Look, there they are now.
And thank you for coming to share our first Thanksgiving feast with us.
There's so much food to partake in. Guess it is good we can come together in peace.
Let's give thanks and eat now.
I get to see. You dream well, Master Brandon. So that's Squanto, and that's right. Who's the other guy?
Governor Carver, the first governor of Plymouth Colony. We elected him. And I am sorry to say he died soon after the Mayflower left to return to England.
Then they elected good Governor Bradford, who was only 31 years old. That seems pretty old to me.
Yes, I suppose.
Too bad Squanto isn't alive today. We could use him to help make peace in the world. So tell me more about the first Thanksgiving.
Well, we didn't realize we were starting a holiday. We were just happy because we made it through a long, hard winter in America. With the help of the Indians, we had a good harvest and we're ready to celebrate.
We Indians already had a celebration called the Green Corn Dance each fall. So we were very happy when Governor Bradford invited Chief Massasoit to the settlers' feast.
He arrived with 90 braves. We couldn't believe it.
Massasoit, our sachem.
That means chief.
He realized that the Pilgrims didn't have enough to feed us. So we went into the woods and killed 5 deer and brought them to the feast.
And what a feast that lasted 3 days.
The Indian braves slept in the field each night. How great, but did you really eat for 3 days? No, we had lots of activities. We danced.
wild dances
We also wrestled.
with the settlers.
Then we had a display of weapons.
We Indians shot bows and arrows. It was fun to see all the weapons, but it also reminded us how lucky we are to be friends with the white men.
We play a sport on Thanksgiving, football, but not for 3 days. My mom would go crazy.
Speaking of your mother, look.
Hey, it's my family sitting down to Thanksgiving dinner. I'd better join them.
You can't join them yet. You're still asleep. Let's go see what they're having.
Look, Kai, turkey is the only meat.
It was the only meat at the first Thanksgiving. That's why we have it.
I'm afraid it wasn't. We also had venison, ducks, partridges, geese, and lots of seafood.
Seafood on Thanksgiving.
We did have lobsters. We Indians taught the settlers how to fish out of Cape Cod Bay. They caught shellfish like crabs, and oysters, even eels.
Yeah, eels.
They tasted just like chicken.
Look, they too are eating corn.
We had a harvest of 20 acres of corn thanks to the Indians.
The English battling trees they fought with them didn't make it.
So we had harmony.
Some we called it. The most fun we had with the settlers though was teaching them that if they got the kernels of corn really hot.
You taught them about popcorn?
Yes,
You didn't have popcorn in England? How did you watch movies?
We didn't. Oh, look, they're putting something yellow on their corn.
Well, that's butter. Don't tell me you ate corn without butter.
it's true. They didn't bring any cows with them on the Mayflower. No cows, no milk, no butter.
Wow.
We had good things though. Gooseberries.
Gooseberries.
Yes, and plums and strawberries. The Indians taught us how to dry cherries. We ate them dried, but we also cooked them in what we call Little Joe cases.
Which became pies later on, I bet.
Now you're catching on.
What's that bowl with lots of different things in it?
Where? Oh, that's a salad.
Salad or salad. The Indians use the word salad to mean parsnips, carrots, turnips, onions.
Covers, radishes, beets, cabbage.
Sort of like vegetables today. You call them salads. I wonder if that's where we got the word salad.
No doubt.
Look, there are my dad's beans. He makes them every year.
Your father cooks, but he's a man.
No man cooks in Plymouth Colony. It was women's work. It was really hard the first Thanksgiving because there were 90 Indians, braves, 50 pilgrims, and only 4 women and 2 girls to do all the cooking.
I guess things really have changed.
For the better, I'd say.
Look, Constance, each person has his own plate.
How unusual, there were at least 2 to a plate in our day.
And the plates were wooden.
How unusual. Yes. And we had a few spoons, but none